Well, balancing a big family and Donald Trump, the president-elect tapping Kellyanne Conway as counselor to the president, and Conway has a message to critics who say she'll have trouble balancing both her home life and the White House. Watch.
I would say that I don't play golf and I don't have a mistress, so I have a lot of time that a lot of these other men don't. I see people on the weekend, they spend an awful lot of time you know, with their golf games, and that's their right, but the kids they'll be with me. We live in the same house, and they come first.
Here now, Blake Rutherford, Democratic strategist, and Hadley Heath Manning, Independent Women's Voice Senior Policy Analyst. Thanks for being with us. Hadley, let me start with you. That was a powerful soundbite that we just heard. It's how Conway uses her time to balance having 4 kids, working for the president. She's got a way with words. That's what helped Donald Trump win the election. What is she going to do in her new position as counselor to the president?
Oh, she's certainly going to continue using her excellent communication skills and giving guidance, offering guidance to the president-elect about how he should address certain issues, how he should message on certain issues, package those issues when he's presenting them to the American public, because there are going to be big changes in Washington, D.C., and change can be intimidating. But the American people voted for change. They want to see change. And so in order to sell those policies, Trump's going to be listening to advisors like Conway and using people like Sean Spicer to make clear to the American people exactly what he's doing and why.
Blake, do you see Conway getting along with Steve Bannon?
Well, I think that's actually the most important question here, is how is she going to fit with Steve Bannon and with Reince Priebus in this new and evolving inner circle of Trump land that also includes, you know, some of his family members. I think we're gonna have to wait and see what's her portfolio and how does she assert herself in this West Wing. I think it's going to be a really interesting dynamic for Kellyanne Conway.
But overall, this is a family-friendly White House, and we hope a White House where everyone can get along, right? You know, Reince and Sean Spicer they came as a twofer in a way. The Trump children are taking a big part of the administration. Kellyanne's going to balance being a mom of 4. Hadley, this is a family-friendly White House.
Well, let's hope so, and that would reflect really the American workplace, because our economy is evolving to make room for more flexibility for working moms. We have more working moms than ever, more female breadwinners than ever, and so in order for women to get the balance that they want in their home life and their careers, it's good to see examples like Kellyanne Conway, and we applaud what she's doing. She's going to be incredibly efficient. Working moms know that they have to be very efficient with their time, and that's exactly what she's going to do.
I couldn't have said it better myself. Let's move on to another topic here, guys. It's a disappearing legacy. President Obama's legacy will vanish within a year of Trump taking office. That, according to Newt Gingrich. The former House Speaker says, quote, because he didn't do the hard work of passing legislation. What do you make of that, Hadley?
Oh, you know, that's the bottom line here. That's the takeaway. That's the lesson, maybe the hard lesson that we're going to learn from the Obama years. If you want your legacy to last, then you really have to lay the foundation, working across party lines. If you're going to drive home a hyper-partisan agenda, passing laws like the ACA that didn't have any support from Republicans, and if you're going to use executive action to accomplish a lot of your agenda, those things are easy to wipe away. And that's what we're going to see as Trump takes office. It's unfortunate for President Obama that he built his legacy on a very soft foundation, something that can be washed away, but it may be fortunate for the American people that we can undo some of these misguided laws and regulations.
Blake, isn't there irony here that Barack Obama told Donald Trump, you know, it's better if you legislate rather than push through executive orders, but Obama pushed through 269 executive orders, 8 of them since November 8th, Election Day?
Yeah, I mean, I think the most important thing to remember here is that the executive order process was certainly not unique to President Obama, but I think what we have to be mindful of here is the challenge that Republicans are going to have to scale everything back. I certainly think Newt Gingrich is wrong. Nothing's going to happen within a year, but let's talk about the Affordable Care Act, where there was a legislative process, and repealing that and replacing it is not going to happen in a year. You've got some things that people really like in this bill. You've got Republican governors wanting Medicaid expansion to stand. Talk about Governor Asa Hutchinson of Arkansas, who recently just worked out his waiver with the Obama administration. Why? Because it makes rural hospitals in Arkansas thrive. So I think the Republicans are going to have to really think through whether repeal through executive action is the right thing to do, or whether they actually want to manage the legislative process in a way that's effective. And I think the Affordable Care Act really is the litmus test here, because Donald Trump has said he's going to repeal and replace it. We'll see.
But he also doesn't want people to go without health care. Blake, Hadley, thank you.
That's exactly right.